These 15 games have some of the most jaw-dropping visuals that almost nobody is talking about.
Hold them down, group! How are there this many of them? About to be one less!
Coming in at number 15, we have Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. When this game was first announced, many gamers were skeptical. After all, Marvel's Avengers had just been a massive disappointment, and the idea of another Avengers-like game, this time focusing on a smaller team of heroes, didn't inspire much hope. Yet upon release, Guardians of the Galaxy quickly proved its doubters wrong. The game may not have reached the same mainstream recognition as its MCU counterparts, but it was a masterpiece in its own right, with visuals that were absolutely breathtaking. From the stunning neon-lit streets of nowhere to the lush, vibrant planet environments, the game's attention to detail in its world building is remarkable. But it's not just the environments that shine, it's the character models too. The developers managed to capture the essence of each member of the Guardians, not just in their actions, but in their emotional expressions, which added so much depth to the story. The facial animations are some of the most impressive we've seen, allowing players to feel deeply connected to Star-Lord, Rocket, Drax, Gamora, and Groot. One of the most incredible visual feats is the seamless integration of cutscenes with gameplay. During key moments, the transition from a cinematic sequence to interactive gameplay is flawless, allowing you to feel fully immersed in the Guardians universe. The game might not have made the same splash as some of its Marvel counterparts, but Guardians of the Galaxy proved that the lesser-known characters deserve just as much graphical love and attention. Landing at number 14, Just Cause 4 might not be the first game that comes to mind when you think of graphical achievements, but it's hard to ignore the beauty of its sprawling open world. The game offers a massive map that features lush jungles, stormy beaches, and arid deserts, all of which are brought to life with astonishing clarity. The dynamic weather system, especially the brutal tornadoes and thunderstorms, elevates the experience, making the world feel even more alive and unpredictable. As you glide through the skies using your wingsuit or drive through the desert in a high-speed vehicle, the world constantly shifts and changes around you. Not only is the environment beautifully designed, but the game also utilizes cutting-edge physics to make everything from explosions to environmental hazards feel so tangible. The way the game handles its destructive and chaotic events is both a testament to the visual artistry behind the game and its technical mastery. What really sets Just Cause 4 apart is how its visuals stay sharp and crisp no matter how insane things get. Despite some mixed reviews, there's no denying that Just Cause 4 offers one of the most visually spectacular open-world experiences out there, filled with moments of pure chaos and breathtaking beauty. At number 13, we have Riders Republic. If you've ever dreamed of a game that lets you shred through mountainsides on a bike, skateboard, or snowboard with your friends, Riders Republic delivers on that dream. This wild, action-packed sports game from Ubisoft might have flown under the radar for many, but it's a visual stunner. The game boasts a vibrant, expansive world filled with realistic environments based on some of the most famous national parks in the U.S. From the snow-covered peaks of Yosemite to the vast deserts of Zion, every location feels like it's bursting with energy and detail, all while offering a dynamic, living landscape that reacts to your every move. But it's not just the world that's impressive, the character animations and vehicle mechanics are equally well designed. The fluidity of movement and the way the characters interact with their surroundings, hitting jumps, carving through snow, or gliding through the air is beautifully rendered, allowing you to fully immerse yourself in the high adrenaline action. Despite its somewhat niche appeal, Riders Republic is an underrated gem when it comes to game design. Its fast-paced gameplay and colorful aesthetic make it a standout experience for fans of action sports games, and it's worth talking about for its remarkable graphical fidelity, which makes every stunt, every jump, and every breathtaking descent feel real. Securing the 12th spot, we have Astro Bot, a game that has charmed its way into the hearts of players and critics alike. Developed by Team Asobi, this delightful platformer takes you on a whimsical journey through diverse worlds, each brimming with creativity and nods to PlayStation's rich history. From lush forests to futuristic cities, the environments are meticulously crafted, offering both visual splendor and engaging gameplay. But Astro Bot isn't just about its captivating worlds. The game introduces innovative mechanics that make full use of the PlayStation PlayStation 5's capabilities. The haptic feedback and adaptive triggers of the DualSense controller are utilized to create a tactile experience that immerses you in Astro's adventures. Whether you're feeling the tension of a bowstring or the subtle vibrations of different terrains, the game offers a sensory delight that sets it apart from other platformers. It's no surprise that Astro Bot clinched the coveted Game of the Year award at the 2024 Game Awards. Its polished design, joyful atmosphere, and broad appeal resonated with a wide audience, making it a standout title in a year filled with strong contenders. If you're seeking a game that combines nostalgia, innovation, and sheer fun, Astro Bot is an adventure you shouldn't miss. Claiming the 11th spot on our list is A Plague Tale: Requiem. This series has always been known for its emotional depth and gripping storytelling, but Requiem takes things to the next level. The game paints a grim picture of medieval France, where the environment is as much a character in the story as the protagonists themselves. The use of lighting is phenomenal, with soft glows illuminating the characters as they move through dark, oppressive environments filled with rats and danger. What really stands out about A Plague Tale: Requiem is its commitment to realism. The texture on the characters' clothing, the movement of the rats, and the shifting dynamics of the environment are all brought to life with incredible detail. The rats themselves, which are integral to the story, move in horrifying swarms that feel disturbingly real. The developers put a lot of care into making sure that every aspect of the game, from the delicate handling of the main characters to the brutal, chaotic rat hordes, has a realistic visual impact that heightens the emotional stakes. In terms of narrative-driven experiences, A Plague Tale: Requiem offers one of the most visually striking and immersive worlds in recent memory. The combination of dark, atmospheric visuals with a gripping storyline makes this one of the most beautiful games you might not have noticed. The world is bleak, but stunningly brought to life in ways that stay with you long after the screen goes dark. Coming in at number 10, Detroit Become Human is a game that didn't just push graphical boundaries, it blurred the lines between video games and cinema. Developed by Quantic Dream, this interactive drama takes players through the lives of three androids, Kara, Connor, and Marcus, as they navigate a world on the brink of revolution. The facial capture technology used in this game is on another level, allowing for hyper-realistic expressions that make every conversation feel eerily lifelike. But Detroit Become Human isn't just its stunning graphics. The game presents players with a moral dilemma at every turn, asking them to decide what it truly means to be human. Each choice can lead to wildly different outcomes, making every playthrough unique. Connor's detective work, Marcus's fight for android freedom, and Kara's desperate escape with Alice all provide wildly different yet equally gripping perspectives. This isn't just a story about robots, it's a deeply human tale about oppression, identity, and resistance. And here's something you might not know. Many of the actors in Detroit Become Human are real-life performers who provided both their voices and motion-captured performances. It's no surprise the game became a cult favorite, but it's criminally underrated in the conversation of the best-looking games ever made. At number 9, we have a game that went from being one of the most overhyped disappointments in gaming history to one of the biggest redemption stories. Yeah, I'm talking about No Man's Sky. When it launched in 2016, people were furious. The game felt empty, missing many of the promised features. But fast forward to today, and it's a completely different experience packed with new content, deep gameplay mechanics, and most importantly, jaw-dropping planetary landscapes that make every new world feel like a discovery worth making. What makes No Man's Sky so impressive is how unpredictable its universe is. Thanks to procedural generation, no two planets are the same. One moment, you're walking through a lush, neon-lit jungle teeming with bizarre alien creatures. The next, you're trudging across a barren wasteland under a sky filled with 3 suns. And let's not even get started on space itself. Flying between planets, dodging asteroid fields, and landing on massive space stations never gets old. Here's a fun fact. No Man's Sky's soundtracks actually changes dynamically based on what you're doing. That means your exploration is always accompanied by a fittingly ambient sci-fi score that adapts to your journey. If you dismissed No Man's Sky back in the day, it might be time to give it another shot. This game has quietly become one of the most visually and mechanically ambitious sci-fi experiences out there.
God, almost there. You heard from Wake.
No, not getting the vehicle. It's gone dark since.
Holding the 8th position, Bright Memory Infinite is one of those games that makes you stop and ask, wait, how does this even exist? A first-person shooter with visuals that rival AAA games, it was mostly developed by just one person. Yes, one person. If that isn't impressive enough, the game looks absolutely ridiculous in the best way possible, featuring cinematic gunfights, intense weather effects, and some of the most polished combat animations in recent memory. But here's the thing, this isn't just a generic FPS. Bright Memory Infinite blends high-speed gunplay with melee combat, allowing you to pull off insane combos that mix sword slashes with bullets, all while dodging enemy attacks with acrobatic flips. The game throws players into a futuristic world filled with ancient mythology, creating a bizarre yet thrilling mix of science fiction and Chinese folklore. One second you're blasting through cybernetic enemies, and the next you're slicing through ancient warriors in a thunderstorm. The game runs on Unreal Engine 4, but you'd be forgiven for thinking it was built with next-gen technology. The ray trace reflections, hyper-detailed textures, and insane lighting effects put many bigger-budget shooters to shame. If you're into stylish FPS combat and want to see what one incredibly talented developer can do, Bright Memory Infinite is a must-play. Taking the 7th spot is Battlefield 5. Alright, let's be real. When it comes to realistic graphics, Battlefield 5 is in a league of its own. Released in 2018, this game still holds up as one of the most visually stunning first-person shooters out there. Whether you're storming the beaches of Narvik, fighting through the snowy landscapes of Norway, or surviving in the bombed-out ruins of Rotterdam, the level of detail in every battlefield is mind-blowing. But Battlefield 5 isn't just about looking good, it plays just as well. The game refined the franchise's signature large-scale warfare, offering chaotic player battles across massive maps. The gunplay is incredibly tight, with realistic bullet physics and some of the smoothest movement in any FPS, and let's not forget the sound design. Every explosion, every bullet whizzing past your ear, every tank rolling in the distance is perfectly crafted to make you feel the weight of war. And here's a cool tidbit, Battlefield 5 was one of the first major games to fully implement ray tracing at launch. While many games have since followed suit, it was a major leap forward in bringing hyper-realistic lighting and reflections to real-time gameplay. So if you're looking for a war game that still looks next-gen, Battlefield 5 is an easy recommendation. Sliding into number 6, Hitman 3 isn't just a great stealth game, it's a graphical masterpiece. Every location in this game is designed with an insane amount of realism. The way light reflects off wet pavement, the intricate detail in character animations, and the highly interactive environments all contribute to making this one of the best looking games in the stealth genre. But let's talk gameplay. If you've never played a Hitman game before, here's the deal. You play as Agent 47, an elite assassin who must eliminate targets using disguises, gadgets, and the environment itself. And let me tell you, Hitman 3 takes creativity to a whole new level. You can take out targets in the most elaborate, ridiculous ways, disguising yourself as a waiter to poison a drink, dropping a chandelier on an unsuspecting villain, or even pushing someone off a skyscraper during a lavish party. By the way, not many people know this, but Hitman 3 actually allows you to import all the levels from Hitman 1 and 2, giving you access to the entire trilogy's content in one package. That means you can play every mission with Hitman 3's upgraded visuals, making it the definitive way to experience Agent 47's globe-trotting adventures. If you've ever wanted to feel like a silent, calculated assassin in a world that looks almost real, Hitman 3 is the game for you. Breaking into the top 5, we have Mortal Kombat 11, a game that's less about scenic landscapes and more about breaking bones in the most visually detailed way possible. This game is brutal in all the right ways. Every punch, kick, and fatality is animated with extreme precision, making fights feel incredibly impactful. The level of detail in character models is downright absurd. Every scar, bead of sweat, and blood splatter looks eerily real, especially during slow-motion X-ray attacks. However, Mortal Kombat 11 isn't just about the violence. It also delivers one of the best single-player story modes in a fighting game. The The time-traveling narrative brings together classic and modern versions of fan-favorite characters, leading to some unforgettable interactions. The addition of the crushing blow system and fatal blows adds even more weight to every battle. And let's not forget the roster. Fan favorites like Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Raiden Return, alongside newcomers like Cetrion and Collector, all brought to life with insane attention to detail. Some of the fatalities in Mortal Kombat 11 were so over the top that even the developers reportedly had to take breaks because designing them was so intense. That just goes to show how much effort went into making this game one of the most visually striking fighters ever created. At number 4, we have Metal Gear Solid: The Phantom Pain. Stealth, action, and a touch of Hideo Kojima's signature weirdness. This game has it all. It may have been released in 2015, but it still looks absolutely incredible. The lighting, character animations, and weather effects are some of the most realistic of its time, and the vast open-world deserts of Afghanistan and jungles of Africa feel like living, breathing places rather than just game maps. Gameplay-wise, Phantom Pain is stealth action at its absolute best. You can approach every mission in countless ways, sneak in under the cover of darkness, take out enemies with tranquilizers, or go in guns blazing with air support. The enemy AI is also shockingly intelligent. If you keep using headshots, enemies will start wearing helmets. If you attack at night too often, they'll deploy more guards with flashlights. What makes this game even more fascinating is its troubled development. Kojima's falling out with Konami resulted in the story feeling somewhat incomplete, but despite that, Phantom Pain remains a masterclass in open-world stealth. It's the kind of game that rewards creativity, making it a must-play for anyone who enjoys tactical action. Landing at number 3, we have Stalker 2: Heart of Chernobyl, a game that fans of immersive, atmospheric worlds have been waiting over a decade for. If you've played the original Stalker games, you already know what to expect. A brutally unforgiving survival experience set in the eerie, radiation-soaked ruins of Chernobyl. But this time, it's bigger, more hauntingly realistic, and packed with details that make the world feel eerily alive. Anomalies shift, AI enemies adapt, and every decision you make alters the fate of the zone around you. You're not just surviving here, you're shaping your own story. The developers went all out to ensure that everything from the abandoned structures to the weather effects mirrors the real-life Chernobyl exclusion zone. Is one of the most visually haunting games ever made, with Unreal Engine 5 delivering hyper-detailed environments, dynamic lighting, and character models so lifelike they blur the line between game and reality. The zone is filled with mutated horrors, supernatural anomalies, and factions that are just as deadly as the creatures lurking in the shadows. Beyond the visuals, the game weaves a gripping non-linear narrative where your choices have real consequences. You're not just playing through a scripted story, you're carving out your own destiny in the heart of one of gaming's most dangerous and unpredictable landscapes. After years of delays and uncertainty, Stalker 2 delivered on everything fans hope for. Taking the second position on our list is Assassin's Creed Unity. When it dropped in 2014, it was a buggy mess. People mocked the broken NPC faces and weird glitches, but after years of updates, Unity has become one of the most visually stunning open-world games, even by today's standards. Set in the French Revolution, Unity recreates 18th century Paris in ridiculous detail. The way the sunlight bounces off Notre Dame, the sheer number of NPCs filling the streets, and the intricate architecture of the city make this one of the most immersive historical settings in gaming. And let's not forget the animation system. Parkouring across rooftops has never felt smoother, with Arno's movements being some of the most fluid in the entire Assassin's Creed series. Despite its rough launch, Unity has developed a cult following, and for good reason. Its co-op multiplayer was a bold experiment, and while the story isn't the strongest in the franchise, the sheer beauty of the game makes it an unforgettable experience. If you skipped Unity because of the launch controversy, now is the perfect time to revisit it.
Watch out! I got an accident! Bring it back up!
And finally, taking the top spot, we have Mad Max, a game that deserves way more attention than it ever got. Released in 2015, This open-world action game throws players into the vast, unforgiving wasteland of George Miller's Mad Max universe. And let's be real, this is one of the best-looking desert environments ever put in a game. The way sandstorms roll in, the blinding sunlight reflects off the cracked ground, and the towering dust clouds create an atmosphere that feels both beautiful and terrifying. But Mad Max isn't just about its world. The vehicular battles are intense, with explosions, high-speed chases, and brutal crashes that feel straight out of an action movie. And when you step out of the car, the hand-to-hand combat is just as satisfying, using a heavy, weighty system similar to the Arkham series. It's crazy how overlooked this game is, considering how well it nails the Mad Max vibe. Whether you're roaming the dunes, searching for scrap, or getting into insane high-speed chases, this game offers one of the most immersive post-apocalyptic experiences out there. If you love open-world action games and somehow missed this one, do yourself a favor and give it a shot.